I thought. Knowing personally that my friend has had to walk through some tough situations in life, I realized that his battered boots reflect his perseverance through all of it. Our quality of life isn't based on the worldview that it's all the luck of the draw. The quality of our lives is based on our confident expectation that the marathon we are all running leads to something better up ahead. My friend's race was set before him by God. In other words, his boots are already taken. We have our own. Instead of studying what it must be like to set our feet in someone else's situation, I'd rather study how he was able to wake up every morning and keep going through some of the hardest miles of his life. His testimony is living proof that we are all going to be okay if we keep our eyes focused on Jesus, who is ready to take us into his arms at the end of this race. Jesus blazed the first trail, and he showed us how he did it despite the fact that his human life was full of struggles he did not deserve. We deserve our consequences. Yet sometimes God chooses to give our bad decisions a pass. Other times, due to no fault of our own, the manure spreader just lets loose all over us. How we push through it and then share with others the ways the Lord has worked in our lives is a great reminder to other believers that there are rewards for staying in the race and never giving up, even when we screw up. Our Father is perfecting us day by day so that we can better serve him. Our Christian testimony doesn't end with our conversion experience. In fact, once you make that commitment to follow Jesus, that's when things get really interesting, as you'll see in the stories that follow. Part 1. God's Spirit makes us loving and happy. Chapter 1. Tripping over self-doubt. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. John chapter 15, verses 9 through 11. I'm convinced that my pony Cupcake has come to our Nebraska farm for one reason: to provide companionship to Tucker, my stout Shetland. While Cupcake adores him, she doesn't care too much for people. That includes me. For the first few years, Cupcake and I didn't have much of a relationship. Instead, we shared what I'd describe as an understanding. We'd both go about our business, me tending to the endless chores on the farm, and her swooning over Tucker. We kept our interactions simple, and believe me, I was content with it. Why complicate an arrangement that appeared to be going so well? And for doing such a great job of basically worshiping the ground Tucker walked on, I would pay Cupcake in food, shelter, and excellent vet care. But as each day passed, and as our connections grew more and more robotic, I couldn't help wondering why. What would it take to get this horse to warm up to me? I'd ask myself. Why does she have so much distrust for humans? I would bet the farm that some sort of past trauma blocks her from growing close to people, especially from trusting them. Every creature has a story, and Cupcake is no exception. Whenever I needed to halter her, Cupcake would tense up with fear as the rope went over her head. She seemed to stand in obedience, perfectly still, almost as if she were trying to make herself invisible. I got the feeling Cupcake expected to be beaten down if she didn't comply. So, if I absolutely didn't have to interact with her, like to catch her for the farrier or something, I'd reluctantly choose to leave her alone. It seemed Cupcake was happiest when she was ignored. Psychologists tell us that when humans feel stressed or frightened, they may launch into a fight-or-flight response. Sometimes they freeze so as to appear invisible. Was Cupcake doing this? Regardless, something had to change. It bothered